Look at that. We're back. It's fucking amazing that I can even turn this shit on, to be honest with you. Anyway. Here we are. We're back. My name is Dean. How is everybody? Nice to see everybody. It's Thursday. It is the end of the week. Lachlan Cross is back in the hizzy, as the kids say. You're in the hiz. At Lachlan Cross on Twitter is where you can find him, the host of the Locker Room. And you should be up here. Ryan should be over here. There's Ryan Lindley at Ryan Lindley. Sorry, dude. I
know it's OCD with
fucking weird
with
about
the
that
squares.
Stuff. Yeah. I got to have you down bottom left. Locke has to be bottom right. I got to be
Nothing in
top
my teeth.
left. No, you
I was just eating.
I know. You're just having past pistachios.
Dean wants me as his power bottom.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's my power bottom. Ryan Lindley at Sheeple Shepherd, the podcast, and of course at Ryan Lindley on Twitter.
The bear. He's the bear of the
grizzly bear. But please welcome.
Bears were tops,
dude. We're
Maybe
in Ukraine.
not.
Can you give me a minute? We got a guy on from the Ukraine. He's just sitting there, and you're going, "Hey, what about tops and bottoms and bears? Can we talk about that first?" No. Please welcome to the program, writer for a magazine and an internet news portal in Ukraine, which is where he is. Please welcome my friend Anton, ladies and gentlemen, from Babel. Babel.ua.
Hi, everyone.
Babel.ua is where you can find him. Babel is a very cool site. It's a new site. Do a lot of stuff like we do, but obviously you're concentrating on the war. This is a little thing from Babel. They've got a beautiful English site, and really glad to have you here. How are you, and where are you today? Why don't we start there, Anton? Where are you, sir?
Well, it's calm where I am. It's the best option possible to get in Ukraine. I'm in Chernovtsi region. It's on the western part of Ukraine. I moved here with my parents, who used to live, who will come back soon, to the Kherson region, which was occupied by Russians the first day of war. So when they decided to leave, I just joined them to help them settle here. And then all the things with Babel, with English version of Babel started. So we were covering day and night, and I'm either sleeping or working. So this is how my days are like now.
Yeah. Well, dude, it's like, what is it like? Explain what Babel is, first of all. BABEL.ua. That is the website. I was on it all morning long, and I know what it is. I know you guys are like balls deep. Sorry about the word. Balls deep with like real-time reporting about real advances on behalf of the Ukrainian army. We've got great news there. We'll get to that in a minute. But tell us what Babel does, and tell us what the goal is today, because you reached out to us. We got in touch with you, and we want to help. So what is it that Babel does, and what is it that you guys are trying to accomplish today?
Let me begin with what Babel used to do before the war, like before February 24. We used to be a quality general interest website we were publishing reportages from all over Ukraine, from some other countries as well. There were different range of topics from political investigations to scientific breakthroughs. It was quality media with pretty decent advertising, and we were profitable, which is not actually the common case in Ukraine, because the money in the media is scarce, but we managed to do this. But after like 4 a.m. at February 24, we all switched to the thing we thought the most important, to cover as extensively as possible the war, to put as many details as possible, to make it as comprehensive as possible, for many reasons. The first one is for our people, Ukrainians, to know better what's going on. The second one is just to fix everything for the future court cases, for example, and for many, many reasons. And like 3 days before the war, we started our English coverage. We used to have Ukrainian and Russian languages on our website, and then we switched to English just to tell the world, because there was a feeling that something is looming, that something's going to happen. And just 3 days before the war, we started this, and now it's full scale. We have no more Russian language on our website because it's not actually much needed in Ukraine anymore. But we have English, which is way more, up to date. So we work 24/7 on covering the war. Yeah.
So I want to get to Locke in just 1 second, but just so I'm sure, Babel.ua, your website, was not a news website before the war. Like by the 24th, you guys had to like say, okay, listen, not only are we not going to be broadcasting and writing in Russian and putting out Russian content anymore, we're going to now have to put out English content, and we're going to take all the content we're doing. You were doing legal stuff, political stuff, business stuff, and then you're like, hold it, let's report on the war. Is that correct?
Oh yeah. Actually, there was some news on our website before, but the main point was to make it like an online magazine, with large articles, with feature articles. But then we decided to cover, just make it online live coverage, and it was our main product. Right now, we still continue doing the articles, but all of them are about the war. All of them are about sieged cities. All of them about the battles, about the volunteers, because this is what our life is now.
It's fascinating. Locke, sorry about that, but I didn't mean to interrupt.
That is fine. Anton, I have a question about the significance of the name Babel.
Yeah. Well, it has two meanings, I guess, because in English it's the same name of the city Babylon, which is in one of the ancient cities where like modern history started. But Babel in Ukrainian, we have a writer of Jewish origin who lived in Odessa, Isaac Babel. He wrote ironic stories about regular life, in those days in the end of 19th, the beginning of the 20th century. And we liked the irony of this. And the idea in 2019, like a couple of 4 years ago, we launched this website. We decided to make it in a magazine format, but online with an ironic twist. So that is how the name came.
Wow. So you had to, like, as soon as the war started, you're like, oh, okay, now we're a whole new website. So let's get this going and let's figure out how we can serve the people of Ukraine. And you're not the only people to do that. Several media sites, as I was reading about you guys this morning, have had to go from like, a website that talked about kids' toys is now talking about the war and how to find kids and where to take your kids and how to keep people safe. Like, that effort has been Herculean. Here's the email we got from you guys. As you know, it says 2 weeks our people and country have been waging fierce struggle for the freedom of the Russian-Ukrainian war. From the first minutes of the aggression, our team of journalists has been fighting for Ukraine on the information front so the readers from all over the world can know the truth about what's happening in our country. The active continuation of our work, struggle for truth and freedom, and the information, your support, informal or financial, is very important to us. Therefore, we launched Patreon. We will publish the most relevant news updates about what's happening in Ukraine, reviews and stories about Ukrainian experience now. Be grateful if you can for a few sentences to tell your readers about this, how they can support us. So we're going to put this, it'll be in our description. There's a Patreon link there. There's a website, an online website link where you can donate. There's social media network where you can donate. And this will be in our description in the podcast, and you can go and check it out. But I mean, when you decide to change like your focus as a business, you lose clients, right? Like, that's just kind of what happens. And so that's what you're trying to do, right? Is get some clients, stay in business, and continue to tell the people of Ukraine exactly what's happening. Is that what I understand?
Well, yes, and there is another side of the story. There is no advertising market in Ukraine anymore. Like, what would you advertise? Where? And who cares about this? We had like the guy who wrote you this letter, Vsevolod. He used to work for advertising department, and now there is no reason for its existing. But there is a reason for information. There is a reason for full coverage. Some of my colleagues stayed in Kiev, which is shelled right now. There are explosions heard almost every hour. They are staying in what is basically a bunker. And they tell everyone, when we ask, guys, do you need anything? Maybe you need money. Maybe you need some additional salary or whatever. Do you need to get something? They say, come on, money doesn't decide anything here. You cannot buy life with money right now in Kiev, and everything is managed differently. Like, it's mostly volunteer or mostly like it's from heart. Money doesn't go there, but it's maybe for today, for tomorrow, and then they will still need some salaries and so on. And in order to keep our website going, in order to keep this work running, we are just gathering funds from those who can afford to give. And we have Patreon, we have launched a PayPal. Fortunately, this system was absent in Ukraine, and just a couple of days ago, they launched a full-scale service in Ukraine. Thanks to them, and we have a PayPal right now as well, and we hope this will help us survive.
I do too. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Who was going to say something?
No, I was going to say, I would think that there's got to be some sort of international advertisers that would be interested in, no matter, if it's because it's not local. I get it. They don't want to, there's no market right now in Ukraine, but the advertisers should be looking at it from the point that people like us are going to be reading, and they would probably want to get their name somewhere on factual, real information coming directly from the source. So I don't know if that would be a market that's totally dead for you guys yet.
Well, this is a livable market. It has some perspective, but I think we have to keep our English version a bit longer in order to gather a bigger audience from more countries. It's quite significant right now, but it's still too early to launch some advertising to get some advertising
for sure.
there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, and I know Locke wants to get in here, but if you haven't been to this site, if you go to Babel.ua, it has legitimate news. Like, when we don't really get any legitimate news. Like, we don't, I get my news from Alex de Rebekov, who is in Cherkasy, as a matter of fact. I don't know if you know him, but like that's where we get our news from, legitimately from him. And he told me 2 days ago, he said, you're going to see a new drawing of the territorial map. That's what you guys do. You do that like in real time, and it's a Herculean effort. Like, how many people have you had to go out and hire? Like, how many more people are reporting on this, and how many of the original reporters, like this one, Russia's war with Ukraine, the Russian army surrounded near Kyiv. It loses, its losses exceeded 15,000 soldiers. The occupiers continue to kidnap civilians and shell cities. We don't get that news here. So did you have to go out and find these people, or did you say, hey, everybody, wholesale, this is all you're reporting on all the time?
Well, we have nearly 20 people of staff. Not all of them are journalists. Some of them work, for example, in a news service. Some of them are which say, for example, right? But almost all of them are now working on the news. And the Babel was launched and it was organized by the people experienced in journalism. Some of them, like, I've been working in journalism for like 15 years. So I have many sources. I've been almost everywhere in Ukraine, almost all regions. So people report, and we can clarify the information. We can verify it. Our main point is everything has to be verified. So most of our information is given by official sources or by the people we can trust. So this is how we work. Yeah.
Locke?
Anton, what's the hardest story you've had to write?
The city of Mariupol. The 400,000 port city on the south of Donbass, but actually it's a coastal city with special vibe. It has no mines. It has several large factories, but mostly it's about the port city with it's to Odessa, and it was on the way of Russians to the Crimea. They have to make a land corridor. They want to get it, and it was the city. Russians thought that the city will surrender in a jiffy, in a minute, but it started opposing them fiercely, and it's still opposed. So the Russians just shelled them. They just try to destroy it, just to erase it from the earth. And we got stories from the city. We got pictures from that, and stories of people who managed to evacuate. And while I'm managing the English version, I'm there of it, so I take care of all the news that go. They are mostly factoids, they are facts, and you just you get used to it. You actually can get used to war. It's not fulfilling, but you can. But then you see some details which people tell you about how they just manage the dead bodies, about how they just can't find the tree in a city to make fire, to make food, and this really shocks you. Small details of usual life that is broken down to pieces. This is what the hardest.
Anton joins us from Babel. It's a news outlet that require your help. Again, the information on how you can help fund these guys, help keep them in business so that they can continue to report on the war in Ukraine. They're doing real work, real media outlet, not the bullshit, not the fake stuff, not like this is not MSM. This is legitimately a group of well-meaning media people who are like, fuck, let's just go get it, right? Let's just go do this. Did you see, I'm going to ask you this. Did you see what happened in Berdansk Or am I saying that right? Berdansk. Did you see the video of the Berdansk? The ship. Yeah, let me play this video. Locke, you'll love this. So I woke up this morning. It was like the first tweet I saw. Look at the smile on Anton's face. You know how Russia's trying now. I don't know where Berdansk is. It's probably in the south, right? Because they're coming in from
the south.
Yeah. So they're coming in from the south, across from Crimea, and they're trying to get in, and they've got these landing parties of like Russian soldiers. And this is a video, and I woke up. This first thing I saw today, Anton. I don't know what you know about it, but I'll play the video. This is a video of a landing party of Russian aggressors, occupiers that are trying to get into Berdansk and trying to move a bunch of assholes in to take over the city. And the Ukrainian army just fucking sunk all the boats. It's like fucking. Have you seen this? Look at how fucking big this fire is. So, what do you know about this, Anton? If you can, I'd love to hear more.
Yeah, I know a bit more. There is among many Russian propaganda channels, there is a channel called Zvezda, the Star. It's belongs, and they have several propagandists. One of them are in Berdansk, which is actually occupied, but there are no hostilities there. They are trying to make the city their military base. They moved ships there, and that propagandist, he just made a video about the ship, a large ship with personnel and lot of military equipment. And Ukraine just watches this footage and this is it. You know how beautiful. Can you see how beautiful it is? Yeah. So
what you can't see.
Still, I can watch it over.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about one ship sank and what happened here.
One ship sank, and two another ships, they were just trying to escape. They ran.
They fled.
I don't know how. They fled as fast as possible. Yeah, it was really a pleasant picture. We have war is a tragic thing, but we have so many memes about that. So many memes about Russian military, which is called itself the second greatest army in the world, but actually, nothing to talk about. Okay, there is something to talk about, but still, it blows. It's beautiful.
Yeah, you can see the other warship taking off. Do you see that there? I see the other warships like, fuck, we're out of here.
I saw a quick video of the actual one that's on fire there. It was like almost like a tour of it prior to obviously it exploding. It's huge. Like, it's massive. And the fact that they sunk it where it sat is pretty bloody impressive.
Yeah. But dude, I mean, and we're seeing more of that. Sorry, Anton, what were you going to say? I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
This ship has it's not there are tanks inside. There are different types of weapons inside, and all of the rests in the deep sea, which is also great fact.
It's awesome.
It is beautiful, isn't it? It is. It's totally beautiful. It's a beautiful scene.
Anton,
go ahead.
One of the things that we've sort of noticed, and again, in Canada, I think we know Ukraine as, we know it as a friendly culture. We know it as a hardworking culture. We know it as from the food, like the pierogies and the sausage. But I wonder if this is a new thing or if this has always been something. Your sense of humor, even in the even with what you're going through, seems, I don't know, interesting to us as Canadians. And I know we've talked about it on this podcast a couple of times. Watching videos of farmers driving tanks away with tractors and sticking coats out in an alley and having Russians shoot at them and then them laughing hysterically. Or I saw a video yesterday where a farmer, they captured a Russian truck and they were all trying on the hats and posing and laughing. And the sense of humor is kind of dark but it's interesting, and it kind of sticks out right now because of what you guys are going through. Was it always there, or is this something that the war has brought out of Ukraine?
I think the war enhanced it. Like, it's not the first day of war, actually, on the February 24. We had the war in Donbass starting in 2014. So there is some dark sense of humor. There is some dark shades, starting to emerge at that time. But as of now, it's life-providing thing. Otherwise, it would be really hard, or I think impossible, to cope with all the tragedies, with all the things that Ukrainians are going through. Maybe you've heard of the ships is a beautiful story, but we have another one story about the airfield in Chernobyivka. It's a Kherson region. It's a strategically important because this is an airfield can launch their planes and helicopters from to invade Ukrainian south. But this they have no other option. They have no other airfield. But this is where Ukrainian artillery shells really good, and we have already 8 consecutive failures of Russian airfield, and bearing losses. Like the first time, several helicopters were blown up. Second time, they are not dead. The third, another part of the troops are feeding the earth, and like 8 times, and it's not the end, I'm sure. So we are already thinking that the necklace shoes or whatever, they have make a TV series which already has 8 episodes. There will be more.
I was talking to Alex about this very thing last night, and he said joke about Chernobyivka. Is that, am I saying that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Joke about Chernobyivka. He goes, you asking me for the 9th time?
Oh yeah.
And then they showed me this picture, which is unbelievable. And he's like, we changed the signs to Chernobyivka. So he said, there's the sign. You can go and find it right now. It's like, hey, if you want to get there, go any one of these 3 ways. Fuck you.
Well, and then the guys on Snake Island too.
Yeah.
The Russian ship pulls up and goes, yourself. Surrender. They're like, Russian ship, go fuck yourselves. I just love it, right? It's so hard to watch. This is war, and it's stressful even for us, and we're not even going through it, and we're all a bunch of pussies here in Canada. But it's these moments of levity and these videos that we're seeing that are keeping our spirits high, because this is hard to watch for us and hard to see what you guys are going through, Anton. And we have a regular contributor, and Dean just mentioned him, Alex from Kyiv. He's just outside of Kyiv, and he's in
Cherkasy.
Cherkasy. He is actually part of a relief group that's running supplies and things like that to bomb shelters and stuff. And Alex has this smile and this sense of humor, and just he's just been unbelievable. We've had him on at least once a week for the last month, and I follow him on Twitter, and I can't wait to see his videos just to make sure he's safe, but also just to sort of get a glimpse at this guy's spirit. It's quite interesting to see how you guys are handling this, Anton.
Yeah, a few words about Chernobyivka and the situation around. You showed the road sign of every direction is Chernobyivka. Actually, there are many real road signs like this in Ukraine right now, because like our security Ukrainians do the real road signs in order to the occupants, so they can't manage where to go. They couldn't get where to go the right direction. So some of them were removed, and some of them were changed into Chernobyivka. And actually, the humor really, I hope every Russian occupant will find their Chernobyivka sooner or later.
I was just thinking, if you keep just inviting the Russians to Chernobyivka, the war should be over in about 3 weeks.
We should invite Putin there. I think he's the mainest. So
from what I understand, they had intelligence saying that Russians' GPS coordinate systems were so antiquated and half of them didn't work, which is when they made the decision to do that with the signs, because they said the only other way is with a hard map, or if they're reading the freaking road signs as they're coming into town. So let's mess them up with the road signs, and it's apparently worked very well.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought of that. That's brilliant, though.
Right.
I love
It's
it.
just a simple thing, right? Like even if you look at like I was looking at this picture that came from Babel today. Go to Babel.au, UA, by the way. But this picture from the story where it like because like Ukrainians want to know the death count of Russians, right? 15,000, 20,000. You're like, good, yes, 25,000, yes. But not just a picture. And if you go and read the whole article, it gives you information. These guys give you information, not just for people that are outside Ukraine, but people in Ukraine. And it's real, it's realistic, but it's hopeful, right? They give you a shot. They can see that this guy's in this like foxhole with the javelin thing, and he's like, yeah, I'm just taking out a couple more columns. I'll be home at like 6. But again, it speaks to the people. It speaks to the job that everybody has to do, and it doesn't matter what that job is. If you're like a beer brewing company, you're now making Molotov cocktails. If you were a like an ironic website that did fun content, legal, political content, you are now no longer doing any of that stuff. You are just war reporting. Like the ability that and you're seeing it, the connective tissue of this country. It's got to be like buoying for you guys, like, you know, getting that information out to people. It kind of changes you a little bit, right? And I know it here, like we went through the Freedom stupid thing, but when you feel like you have a higher responsibility to report something as opposed to getting clicks, it has to change your life a little bit as a journalist, does it not, Anton?
That's the one side, and the second side, this is what gives more meaning to be right now. I'm not much of a soldier. I don't think that I don't have a practice, you know, of being a soldier. I'm not sure if I will go there. But as of now, I'm more effective as a journalist, and several of my colleagues feel it as well. And the events around are actually shocking. And for example, today, one of my colleagues, me translating the Ukrainian live coverage into English language, she told, "Can I please have a pause for like 30 minutes from Kharkiv?" And there was a shell hit my house. I don't have a house anymore. She's escaped. She's a refugee now. Her place, her home isn't there, you know. And the thing she finds what helps her continue work. Actually, we work like 16 hours a day, 12 hours a day. It's normal for us. Energy to continue.
Yeah. Purpose.
Anton, I don't know what your relationship as a country was with the West compared to Russia before this dispute. I know that you guys are proud. You're a peaceful country. You don't want this occupation. You want to be Ukraine on Ukraine's terms. So, you know what? Piss off Putin, piss off Russia. But do you feel, based on how the rest of the world, the Western world, as it's being referred to, NATO, we can throw that into the conversation as well. EU. Do you feel more connected to the West than you have in the past, based on how the rest of the world has responded?
Oh, yeah. It's interesting to notice how actually Ukraine wanted to be close to West for decades. We understood that there is no future with Russia, with the next version of the USSR. Nobody wants there. Like majority of Ukrainians, they have seen how Europe looks like. They have felt how people behave there, how they communicate, how they do business, and we want to be there, not in the eastern part of the eastern timings. The aspiring to go to Europe. Unlike Europeans, they considered Ukraine as something separate, something, you know, rather post-Soviet, something else. But when this unprecedented and unmotivated war started, I think many Europeans were feeling towards Ukrainians, and this is what surprised us. Poland is complete. It's like the best type of friend imaginable, because almost 2 million Ukrainians, even maybe more than 2 million, are found a refugee there, which is really impressive. But different countries are as well. They know how it feels, specifically the post-Soviet countries like the Baltics, Lithuania, Estonia, Moldova, maybe I think Czech Republic once used to be the Iron Curtain from the left side of the Iron Curtain, they now feeling that Ukraine belongs to Europe and there is a way to help us right now. Yeah, and they do.
Yeah,
You got to
fascinating.
get you into NATO.
Yeah, well, I think that's next, from what I understand. NATO, they're
Yeah.
already part of the EU, right? They're on the EU grid for like electricity, which is fucking huge, and gas and all that stuff, like energy. Where it's happening. One of the things that happened, and I want to ask you about this, and I watched this yesterday. Great news report on NBC. It was widely reported that Ukrainian troops are actually taking back Russian territory in Ukraine. And I want to put this map up. You can see February 24th, the Russian incursion, chronology of Russia's invasion. And as time goes on, you can see those areas that Russia tried to take over lighten up. No one saw this. No one thought this would happen. Nobody, like not one single pundit. And if you started watching the war on February the 24th, you watched CNN, you watched Fox, MSNBC, NBC. Every single one of these people were like, it'll be over in a matter of days, like 48 hours, 72 hours, Putin will have taken over the country. Not only has he not taken over the country, what he tried to take in the first month of this has been significantly clawed back by human beings with almost nothing. Like, this is what you're seeing, the recapture of their own country in small pieces and pockets.
Yeah.
How is this possible? How is it possible? First of all, congratulations. Like, that has to, when you see that, you have to go, it's happening, right? But how are you doing this? How is the Ukrainian army, how are the Ukrainian people not just surviving, but taking back what is trying to be taken and stolen from them under a gun?
Yeah.
How are you doing this?
Yeah, it was quite fast. It was surprising that it's not even a Russian invasion, which they were preparing for years. And there were military drills lasting for months before the actual invasion near Ukraine. So they were considering this and they were preparing really hard. Two things I think are the most. The first is now at war. There is no region in Ukraine which stays indifferent. There is no city, there is no town which doesn't feel the war, because we have air sirens all over the country, because we care about our people. We just don't want anybody to be damaged, anybody to be killed. So there are many air sirens when Russians launch their missiles from the sea. And there are huge volunteer in every part of the country. There are huge logistical ways to help military in every country. So this is why the soldiers are recapturing our land. This is one reason. And the other one is that Russia is actually opposite of what Ukraine feels and what Ukraine does for our people. They just forgot about their soldiers. They are hiring here the conscripts who were not assuming that they will go to Ukraine. And right now it's quite cold these days in Ukraine. So right now they don't have proper boots. They don't have food. They are stealing the food from the locals. They are looting heavily. And there is a lot of resistance of the locals, even unarmed locals, who capture their tanks and so on, and some of their other vehicles. But they are forgotten by their military. There is a YouTube channel of Ukrainian security service, SSU, on YouTube, Security Service of Ukraine, which captures Russians' phone communications. The reason is Russian mobile communication or cellular operators, they don't in Ukraine anymore. Ukraine banned them from operating. So Russian soldiers steal the mobile phones from locals with the Ukrainian SIM cards. On the other hand, they can contact their fiancés or whatever. But on the other hand, they can be heard by all our security services. And what they tell is that they are forgotten. All they tell is that there is no hope for them. And on the other side, they are telling like, I'm sitting and it's so cold. I don't know what's going to happen next. I mean, they told me it's going to be an easy ride. Right now, it's worse than Chechnya. And like mother or whatever, or a wife tells him from Russia that, we also have problems. No more Coca-Cola, no more some other things. But there are more serious problems, like don't know if there will be job in a month time. There are huge immigration. The most bright people from Russia are leaving the country, and I think it's good to do so for them. Patience. So
For sure. I read a story the other day about how the Ukrainian Army intelligence service was mass texting the Russians, every Russian mobile number that they could find, with instructions on how to surrender to the Ukrainian army, because they figure at least a few of them will have cell phones on them and they'll receive those text messages. And sure enough, a tank commander did arrange a surrender, and it was fascinating. And now Putin apparently is assembling a kill squad to find any defectors that are caught before the Ukrainians can actually take them in.
Holy shit.
They will be shot by their own Russian troops, which is absolutely, it's savage. He's a savage beast. He's a beast.
Is that factual, Anton?
Yeah, that's true. It reminds the same thing was during the Second World War. They were like the first line of the troops, of the soldiers, of Soviet soldiers. Often they were like from the jails or some not really. Their life was valued, but second line was the real soldiers who were shooting those who tried to go back. First line, the punishing, and the same thing is happening right now, because regular soldiers in Russia, they understand that they are not welcomed here. They thought that Ukrainians will welcome there to liberate Ukrainians from the fascist or Nazist or whatever government. But which is absolutely true, but it's full of propaganda on Russian television. This is why they are completely bashed. But when you see the reality and when you see that it's not true, you start behaving differently. And many of them are trying to get to become war prisoners, because it's way better to be Russian soldier.
Well, dude, I was reading this story this morning. It's like a column of Russian soldiers all have frostbite. They all have they're fucking freezing to death, and they're starving, and they've got just sleep in your tank. It's like minus 30 at night. They're like, holy fuck, is it ever cold in here? And so I can that story that you just told, Ryan, is a fucking beauty. Like a Russian tank guy's like, I'm starving, I'm freezing, and these people have been nothing but nice. And those are the videos you see. Like, I mean, hey, listen, 15, 16, 20,000 dead Russian dudes with terrible ideas in their head. That's one thing. But to watch the people of Ukraine take these Russian soldiers in when they're like, hey, listen, I'm out. I didn't know. I had no idea that this was happening. I know, seeing the people feed them tea, feed them food. And I get the psyops part of this, but it's just they're not, you can't fight that. You can't fight those people, right?
That guy literally drove his tank to the surrender point. It was like driving your car to the mall, park it in the spot, take the keys out, hop out. Hi guys,
I'm Ukrainian now.
Yeah, here's my keys. Have the tank. Go. It's all yours. I'm on your side now, and it's great to see. It's just they're starting to, like Anton said, the brainwashing is now that they're in the real thick of this. It's not just Russian propaganda TV. They're seeing it, and that's the shock it needed for a lot of these guys to go, holy fuck, we were duped. We were hoodwinked this entire time.
Do the Russian soldiers even want to fucking go home? There's a question. Have you seen anything from Russian soldiers going, fuck, thank God, sorry, thanks for just a nice place to. Have you really how do the captured Russian soldiers, what are they saying?
There are different stories. I've heard there are some Russian soldiers who just leave their tent, they go home to Russia, and I've heard some who just don't want to leave. Who I'm sorry, we thought it will be just drills. We never knew about what's gonna happen next. But some of them are. It's hard to trust them, because many of them actually knew that they're going to invade Ukraine. This is how they are behaving right now to save their lives. Yesterday, a piece of interrupted phone conversation it was from a soldier who invaded satellite cities of Kiev, Irpin, Bucha, which are really nice towns. I've been there several times. I have my last haircut before the war, and it's a
great haircut. Great hair.
Who knows when the next will happen? But thanks. Yeah. And on these phone conversations, the guy was telling his fiancée that everything is so beautiful here. We have their flats flats in their and all their clothing is a brand clothing, and it's not some shitty one like have, all their furniture is nice furniture, not like and he said like I had to work 15 years without alcohol just to earn. And actually, he sees right now that if you're like a normal nation which doesn't want to invite anybody, just minds its own business and works hard to have some prosperity, then you have houses and you have normal flats, and then you probably don't have at home. They are busy inviting somebody else.
Yeah,
Anton,
interesting.
What we've been hearing on this side of the of the ocean is that and it's been well documented that Russia did not anticipate this kind of a pushback from the Ukraine people, that this is completely by surprise, that they're taken off guard, that they expected just to walk in and take over the whole country. And there's been some development in how they've had to fight. There's been some development on, like, for one, I'll give you one example I heard is that there may never be tanks again because of how Ukraine has stood up to Russia and the damage they've done to that type of equipment, war equipment from Russia. Like it's basically you basically made it useless for Russians. And that might change how people fight wars for years and years to come. But how do you foresee this ending? That seems to be a narrative that we're getting more and more of lately is, okay, how does this end? How does the Ukraine, the people of Ukraine are not going to give up. Russia's not going to win this war. How do you see this ending on your side of things?
Oh, did we lose him?
Is he frozen? Oh, he's back. He's
there
back.
He is.
Oh yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. There were some glitches. I just wasn't. I just couldn't hear your question like for a minute, I guess.
How do you see the war ending?
Hard to say. Putin is actually now he sees that he's made he made a huge mistakes starting like 20 years ago, or like even before that. But he's not. He's considering himself of being a tough guy. The one who doesn't surrender, the one who doesn't make mistakes. He never said that he made. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, my fellow Russian. I made a mistake. He never said this on any like television. I don't remember anything like that. And it's hard. Maybe he can go even further. He has some other bombs he hasn't used yet, like chemical weapon and maybe some tactical nuclear weapon. Nobody knows. Some of people are scared. Some of them are thinking that he's just bluffing. He may be, but he feels that maybe his knees are maybe trembling already because he feels that oligarchs hate him, Russian oligarchs. The military hates him because there are huge losses, and nobody just wants this war except for the Putin and maybe his very close, very, very close circle. And he just basically isolated himself. So it's hard. Maybe there will be some. We hope, we in Ukraine, many of us hope that there will be some problems in Russia because of the economic downfall, because of all these things, all the isolation. Maybe this.
Like maybe he'll trip and fall, and a grenade will go up his ass.
Would be great.
I want them to get. Because you had a great article. If you go to Babel, Anton joins us. He's the English editor at Babel.ua, and if you go to Babel, you've got a great story. And these guys do wonderful work with Ceausescu, Nicolae Ceausescu, former Romanian dictator. You know how he died, right?
Yeah, him and his wife had a fun exit.
Yeah, and the incredible part is about that story. I don't know if you know anything about Ceausescu. They take him out. They take him outside. Like he's eating. The whole country's poor. Everybody's dying. He's a fucking asshole. He's eating like beef. People are like eating shit because they can't afford food. And so anyway, there's a big uprising. They send him to jail and realize he killed people, stole a bunch of money. Just a dictator, right? Just a total asshole. And they took him and his wife out in the town square, and they're like, "We're going to shoot you in the head. Any questions?" And he's like, "She did it."
Yeah. Yeah, they took him to like a classroom. It was like a kangaroo court. They sat them down
Oh,
and had
yeah.
this trial, and then they brought them in the back of the school and shot them both.
But that's the same thing. Like, he's got nobody to blame but himself. Like, nobody knows anything but his family. It's just he is going to die. Like, there is no way that Vladimir Putin comes out of this alive. Like, there's just
people
no way.
are going to rebel.
Oh, dude. And it's not just the people.
Completely.
It's the moms of these soldiers that are dying. It's the oligarchs that he got rich with that he's fucking over right now. It's the entire country, the 30,000 people he's got in lockup for saying 2 words, war or invasion. It's there's no media in that country. It's martial law. Nobody's talking about these things. Like, they are going to get him. They are going to get him. And you know what? The fact that the Ukrainian people are fisting him and his ridiculous army day after day after day.
It's beautiful.
It just adds more fuel to that fire of like, okay, who's putting this vial of polonium in Vlad's tea?
Actually, our security services already have some reports about that Russian oligarchs considering to remove Putin physically in some possible way. Yeah.
Dude,
worst job
happening.
In Russia, Putin's food tester.
Yeah. That guy's probably nervous right now.
Anton,
I guess so.
I want to thank you for spending so much time with us. I want to thank you in the middle of a war, reporting on a war, to spend almost an hour with us, kind of updating us. I want to encourage everybody to go and contribute to Babel.ua. These guys are doing God's work. They've got a Patreon thing here. Again, it's in our description, Babel.ua. If you go to Patreon, you'll be able to find it. YouTube, website. You can go everywhere, but Babel.ua is where you can find online media in Ukraine. Let's help our media brothers out in Ukraine. And if you could please donate. Very welcome. If you could please donate, that would be much appreciated.
In the column, right? And I think right now with where we're at, and I don't think that I don't think this needs. I'm not over exaggerating. I think the importance of information right now, and information from your perspective, Anton, is huge. We can't overstate it enough that what you guys are doing is very valuable because of all the bullshit out there right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
keep it up.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Can we talk to you again in the next several days? Do you mind if we touch base again?
Oh yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, sure.
All right,
that's awesome.
Okay, because we're friends now.
Great conversation.
Anton, we're friends now. All of us are friends. We're on Team
guys.
Babel. Yeah, you're very
welcome.
Like
your warped sense of humor, Anton.
Yeah. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you soon, brother. You take care.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Stay safe.
Yep. There's Anton. Wonderful guy. Babel.ua is where you can go to experience everything that they do, and they do such a great job. Like, fucking really detailed, to the minute.
Why do I
stories
love these
of men.
fucking Ukraine people that we keep bringing on? Like,
they're studs. They're studs. You know why? Because they're fucking
so
real
honest.
men and women.
Fucking real too. Yeah,
yes,
that's a good point. Very good point. Yeah,
Alex put it really well the one time when he explained it to us, that it's like a grieving process. I think that the whole country's going through, and yes, for the first couple of days it was sad and fear, and they've all just kind of gotten over that. Like you said, sometimes I got to remember there's a war going on, and they're just getting on with life. They're strong people. One
of the things, the video I wanted to play for him, and it encapsulates what we're talking about. I mean, Ukrainian people are just fucking studs. This is in the city of Odessa. These guys are bagging sand, and they've got fucking a guy playing some music. Look at this, bagging sand. This guy's playing air guitar, little fucking metallic on in the background. And they're just having a blast. One guy's playing some air drums. This guy's playing real drums. And they're just bagging up sand from the beach. Look at this beautiful old Ukrainian lady standing there and enjoying the outside. And look at the work that's going into
Bon
this.
Jovi,
But they're having a good time. Oh, is that Bon Jovi?
Yeah, can we send them some... That's what we should do. We should send them some real music.
You know, it's funny.
Like, look at this, though. These guys are at fucking war, and they're like... It's my life. It is Bon Jovi. Fuck, I hate Bon Jovi. Anyway, you're right. We got to send him some good music.
I think this is Cruise. They were streaming Cruise FM.
This is what we're talking about.
I remember I was in Winnipeg. It's funny how you get regional stuff with music, right? Like, I worked in Winnipeg at Power at a rock station, and if we would have played Bon Jovi people would have come down to the station and shot the windows out of the building. But we can't play enough Bon Jovi on Cruise in Edmonton.
Yeah, we know.
Look at what happens when you do.
Yeah.
Everybody starts bagging sand.
And they just like set up a drum set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They got
rock
checks.
I fucking love these people. I love these people.
I do too. I cannot tell you how thankful I am that we get windows into the Ukraine or into Ukraine, that we can see this, that we talk to people there, because we're pussies. Like, this just fucking absolutely reinforces that if this happened here, if this came here, there would be very few of us that are willing to do this. And it was an interesting comment in the chat section. Look at this. She's having a blast. They're at war, for fuck's sakes. It's incredible to watch. But if this came here, you had 5% of the country actually believe in themselves, believe in this country. That's what this is what you're seeing. 5 to 10% of the country saying, you know what, we don't give a shit if we live or die. This is our country. We're going to do our best for our people, and we're going to have fun doing it.
Maybe we'd come together on some level. I'd like to think that. I want to believe that.
We might.
We might. You know what's interesting for me about the conversation about the people and what they're going through and the fact that they're in the middle of a war is we keep talking to these individuals like Anton and Alex, and Alex is like, I am not a fighter. I can't leave. So what am I going to do? What can I do to help this situation? Found something. Quits his job, literally is doing what he can. Anton, I don't know how to fight. I don't know how to use a gun. So what am I going to do? I got to get information out there. Everyone seems to find in this country, they're so industrious, right? They're just figuring out what they can do to help the situation.
I like to think that we would be the same way in that as well. Like, as Canadians, the majority of us, what we've seen in the news over the last few years is we've really put a spotlight on the people that don't act that way, and it's more of, what are you going to do for me, rather than what can I do for my country and my neighbors. But I think the overall would be the same in a time of crisis, and then.
I'd like to think so, Ryan.
Yeah.
I'd be there.
I have faith
All
in
I know
that.
is I'd be there. I know you'd be there, Linz. I know Locke would be there because he's got his grandfather.
As long as I could have steel-toed slippers, I'm in.
Yeah.
You guys talk about the other group. Like we talk to these guys, and they just go, hey, how do we respond to this in the best interest of the people around us, right? Like, life is about that response. We talk about this all the time. Personally, professionally, is that how do you respond to something in the moment where you can actually rise to the challenge? They accept it, then respond. Like, we haven't done that. Case in point, Pat King. Did you see the news about Fat King today? Fa la 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 la. Pat King and his buddy George Billings, the Ottawa protest organizers, are now co-accused, facing 10 more criminal counts after the Crown brought new charges against them. Both remain in custody. The Crown also laid new charges jointly against Tamara Litch and Chris Barber. This just fucking happened. Like, this
came down today.
Yeah. Did you guys see it? Because he had his bail hearing today. He had his third bail hearing today, Pat King, right? So we're talking to this guy in Ukraine.
Why
this
isn't he
fucking idiot? Because he's a fucking piece of shit. He's a piece of shit that fucking talks about bullets and taking over the government. He's just an asshole. That's why he's not out. So he got hit with like 1 billion more charges today. And the charges that these guys got hit with are not fucking small. Like, Chris Barber got it today. Tamara Lish got it today. I don't know who that person is behind them, but that's quite the face.
Hell of a chin.
But this is what they all got charged with.
He's the sub-runner.
Mischief, counseling mischief, intimidation, counseling intimidation, counseling obstruction of police,
right?
And obstructing the police. Dude, they're fucked.
They've got to. Yeah.
And it's fucked.
It's like they're getting their own individual charges, and now they're also getting, and because you're with part of this little fucking group, guess what? We're going to charge you guys as a group.
Right.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Fine.
I'm fine.
But that's like, I was reading it today because I didn't even know Pat King was having another bail hearing, because he has one like every 5 days, right? Because he can't find a lawyer that'll represent him, and when he finds one, he won't pay him.
Yeah, he keeps pissing off his lawyer.
So he goes
hear that.
He goes into court today, and they're like, so where's your lawyer? And he's like, still don't have one. Sorry, fuck, no, I can't find one. And I'm like, no shit, asshole. you're a fucking terrorist. Like there's
Yeah.
no one wants to
Yet
fucking
that-
stand there and go, hey, this guy's decent. Take a chance on him. Put him back in society. Because that lawyer will be looked at like he's a fucking piece of shit for the rest of his life and he'll never get a client again because it's a complete fucking lie, right? And then on top of that charge, so he's still
Don't
in
they
jail.
have
He ain't
to
going,
give him a lawyer?
no, they
Well,
do not. He can represent himself or he's got to fucking pay for a lawyer. You don't just get a lawyer handed to you for a federal fucking court case. It's not, especially the kind of shit that this prick is
don't?
charged with. Sorry, Ryan, go ahead.
No, you got to remember he's not on trial right now. These are bail hearings. So what's going on with him right now? The court doesn't care. They'll just keep going and showing up for these remands and say, yeah, sure, you're just going to stay in jail. Like if you want to keep fucking around, you're not getting out until you stop fucking around, and then you can have your bail hearing, and then they'll go to trial. But what he's doing right now, all he's doing, if he thinks he's like toying the system or playing something, he's not. He's just fucking himself and keeping himself in jail on his own accord. So he should take a public defender if they were to allow it. But if you go on their Facebook page, the guy's got another $50,000 in stupid idiots donating their fucking money to a fund. There's no reason for him not to have legal representation right now. This is literally because he is so dumb. He's so fucking stupid. He can't get his shit together.
Is that why? Is that
But
why?
people
Well,
just
I
keep
did
paying
hear-
for it. People
I
just
did
keep
hear,
paying.
and I don't know if there's any validity to what I heard, but
So you're saying Pat's
heard
dumb?
he was
I don't think he's very
pissing
smart.
off his counsel every time.
Yeah.
Like they would sit down and have a meeting, and by the end of the meeting, the lawyer would be so angry with him, he'd just go, fuck you, and leave. I have heard that, but I don't know if there's any truth to that, right?
See, if I gave him if I had any shred of confidence in giving him credit for anything, it would be that if he's long playing this staying in jail, it's to watch that tote board go up and up and up. It's another grift. This is
it's
just another fucking
grift.
grift. Because the
He's
longer he's
trying
in jail, the more
More
those
money,
idiots that donate will keep donating because, oh my God,
Bring
this
those
is
phones,
egregious.
everybody.
And that's
Bring
it.
those phones.
That guy today I was telling you about, Dean, $13,000 in life savings. He lives in his car now because he donated everything to the convoy.
That's awful.
It's not awful. Look at you. That's awful. Bull fucking shit. You love every second of it. You're like, excuse me? This guy lost. So this guy, what's his name again? I got the picture here, but this is the guy.
Well, hold on. Let me guess.
Yes,
Let's
there he
guess
is.
his name. Okay, hold on.
This is a guy.
That's
his name.
That's a Peter.
Uh,
I don't
his
know why.
name is Martin.
Randy.
Martin
damn it.
Joseph Engelhart.
Engelhart,
says
yeah.
he has nothing left after spending his life savings on gas and food for the occupiers. I shouldn't laugh, but it's fucking awesome. Who disrupted Ottawa's downtown for 3 weeks. Quote, I started delivering fuel and picking up laundry. Everything for the truckers.
He literally was cleaning shitty underwear for fucking idiots parked in their truck in Ottawa and
love
giving
it.
them money at the same time.
I love it. I started delivering food January 28th to the February 14th.
Bring those phones.
Bank statements provided to CBC showed Engelhart transferred, quote, thousands and spent thousands more at a gas station near Coventry Road where he was stationed for the majority of the protest. He currently lives oh my God. He currently lives in his SUV, and he said his landlord kicked him out over his concerning, quote, point of view from being at the protest. It gets better. This is fucking, look at this poor fucker. And he's not even a poor fucker. He's just a dumb fucker. Look at this dumb fucker.
Yeah.
Did you see him? Like,
He's a thumb.
dude,
He's
not
just a
only
thumb with no money.
Well, let's take it easy.
His
on
middle
this,
name's
ladies.
Peter.
Buddy, look at me. I looked like him fucking 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Stop
that's
it.
true. That's true. You
Yeah.
look like $1 million now. But this is it. Engelhart says he's unable to access his account because it remains frozen. More than 250 accounts are frozen. Millions of dollars were donated. Engelhart said he never saw a cent. He admits that he never had this is fucking unbelievable.
This is my
Never
favorite
had
part.
a stance on mandates, but felt drawn to the movement after he was prevented from visiting a dying friend in a Montreal hospital in 2020 because of COVID-19 restrictions. After hearing about the
wouldn't get his
convoy, he closed his web development business. Great idea. Merged with the convoy and Medicine Hat. Look
Hold
at
on,
look at the
that
money
guy's a
that he
web
spent.
developer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's hard to believe, isn't it, that this
I
guy
know.
is a web developer.
With that tan, I don't know.
I can't like. I can't get over this, but I can get over this. Like he emptied his account, his life savings. This guy squirreled away. He's probably 40. Life savings, just fucking doing shit work in his basement on his computer. 13 grand, and they managed to convince him just to hand it all over. Like, just keep bringing us gas, keep buying gas for us so we can keep this thing going on. And he's like,
he literally sat right in there at that gas station on Coventry, right at the corner.
Yeah.
The closest gas station to the occupation. And all he was doing was just doling out money, doling out food
from his own account.
Yeah, but
without asking any questions. He's like, and you know why he did it? Here's the fucked up part, dude. Do you know why he did it? Because he was angry that he couldn't visit a friend who had COVID. He was pissed at the restrictions. So he's like, you know what I'm going to do to show them? Give away all my money.
You know? And the fact that he said, you know, I don't have, now he's saying, you know, lots of reflection. Hindsight's 2020, and I regret it. I regret going, and I don't have a stance on this. When I pass one of those kettles at Christmas, I have a very strong stance on, you know, helping homeless people, and I still feel it's like when I'm putting that $5 in, I'm like, that's $5. That's a lot of money. I hope you're seeing me put $5 in here.
Look at me. Yeah.
And I have a stance. I believe in helping people. He says he didn't have a stance, and he gave away $13,000 fucking dollars. Come on.
You know what? And this is one story, Locke. There are probably 50 stories like this of guys going, I don't understand. I went because I was mad, and I don't understand. They told me to give them all my money for diesel, and I gave them all my money for diesel. And now I'm sleeping in my SUV, and I got. So the CBC reporter's like, "Do you regret it?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like shocked he regrets it.
I don't believe
I'm shitting at the Shell station, and I haven't had a shower in 3 weeks. You know, we had a guy call up, and I made a minor disparaging comment about Pat King or Tamara or something, right?
Minor.
And this was when it was all happening, and he was like shocked that this is the thing that I still can't wrap my head around. He was shocked that I was on the radio and I had an alternative opinion to him. And he was like, aren't you excited about what's happening in Ottawa? Like, we're taking back our country. And look at, there's like the whole country's rising up. And I'm like, you really think that is a representation of the entire? Yes, I do. I don't know what happened. I don't. These people, like, I was watching, fascinated and a little concerned by the numbers, if I'm being honest, that as many people ended up down there. I think a lot of people ended up down there because they hadn't had a party in 2 years.
Oh yeah.
But I was surprised by the numbers. But at no point did I think that the entire country was rising up to take back Trudeau, like take Trudeau out of the, like, it just makes no sense to me.
Dude, of course it doesn't. Of course it doesn't, because you're normal.
You're rational. You're a fucking
rational, normal individual that has the ability to go, if I do X, Y will happen, right? Like, if you said to yourself, hey, I'm going to go sit in the middle of Bank Street, right in front of Parliament, and just be an asshole for like fucking 3 weeks. I would say to you, Locke, if you do that, here's what's going to happen. Might get arrested, might get in trouble. You might have a flag put on your account. You might not be able to travel, all that stuff. Like, I mean, the ramifications of you deciding that you're going to go be an asshole in public for 3 solid weeks with a couple of your friends are significant. And you saying that won't happen. That's not good. These people are not here. That's the thing. Like, none of them are fucking real. None of these guys are here. And you know what fucking props them up? And we've talked about it 100 times, is the cyber effort to be able to turn these people into not just a real thing, but a real reality. Like, they think that this is real. And they've been propped up by millions of bots. They've been propped up by the same cyber shit that we've seen and talked about for a long period of time, the Christian church, because they don't give a fuck who they fuck over. Like, the evangelical church fucked this guy over. right? Extremist stole 13 grand from this fucking web developer who, listen, he decided to do it. I don't feel sorry for him. He's a fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot. He gave away his life savings for diesel gas to people he didn't know because he was mad he couldn't visit someone with COVID. That is like, we talked about it before, the response. Like we talked to the dude, Anton from Babel. We're like the response, the accepting of the fact that this is your reality. You go into it and you do it and you make it the very best you can and you try and do what you can. This is his response. The response from that group has always been and will always be ridiculousness, absolute fucking carnage, because they're too stupid to get it, Locke. Like, this guy's the dumbest human being on the fucking planet. And on top of him being dumb, there are 8,000 other dumb people that feel just like him, that got just as fucked and that can't access their bank account and are living in their car or living under their means or beneath their means because they got taken for a ride by the great cyber joke of fucking 2020 to 2022. That's what happened. That's what happened.
It's
really
taken me a long time to realize that there are people out there that do not, that for some reason are so entrenched in their belief structure and so dedicated to that being the truth that everybody else must think the way I think on some level. Maybe, maybe we're not all Harvard there, but we're all of one. Like I have known that my opinion is my opinion and that a lot of people don't a lot of people don't agree with me for a long fucking time. Like since I was like 5.
That's a
right?
healthy way to think, though. These people don't have that. This is where that Dunning-Kruger comes in, Locke. This is, and I know we use that term a lot, but it's an actual thing.
Explain that again.
Dunning-Kruger is when you are so set on a belief, like a bias, like you have a cognitive bias, like your dissonance from reality is set. This is what I believe. But the more
people think you're smart,
it's what empowers them to empower their wrongness in their own mind. Like they're wrong, and if you tell them they're wrong, that will actually make them dig their heels in harder and become more emboldened by their bravado and their false sense of righteousness, even though they're absolutely incorrect. And it could be about anything. This isn't just COVID. This is science, broad spectrum. This is racial beliefs, prejudicial beliefs. Again, instilled
Ties
cognitive bias
right now.
And because it's easy, because they use it as a tool, because they know that people think this way.
And let's tie that back into what just happened. Like, let's tie that into this supply and confidence thing that happened. And listen, I fucking hate politics. I don't want to talk about politicians. I really don't want to talk about politics. Mm-hmm. But what happened the other day here in Canada, we haven't talked about it. We haven't blogged about it because it's just like, I hate politics. I just can't stand it. Sorry. But
it's dry.
It goes without saying that it bleeds into this. And I'll tell you why. Conservative Party, bunch of fucking Jesus freaks. They're going
to get more entrenched in that too.
Well, fuck, who cares? I mean, just minimize them at this point. Fuck them. But the Liberal Party and the NDP Party got together and they said, let's form a partnership.
Coalition.
Let's get together and form a coalition. Not a coalition. Partnership where
they were calling it a coalition. What do you mean?
It's not a coalition. There's a difference. I'll explain it in a second.
Yeah. We'll get to it in a second. But Ryan, just so I can understand it, you've got the details on it. What is the supply and confidence motion or supply and confidence agreement between the Liberal Party and the NDP Party, and how does it affect Canadians so greatly? Because this is a response to all that shit that we're talking about, the crazy people that seem to think an alternative reality means that they get to come up here and make us all feel uncomfortable. So what is that? What is the supply and confidence agreement? Because it's a big fucking deal.
So, yeah, what they did essentially was and it sounds like a coalition, and that's why you're hearing the word coalition. The ones that are using the word coalition are the Conservatives, because it's not a coalition, and they like to shock and awe, right? So
that's what we're hearing.
Yeah, a confidence and supply agreement is where like two governments, like minority governments, it's in the Westminster, the parliamentary system that we're in, will make an agreement where they will they supply motions of confidence for budgets and for pretty much like it's a blanket. We're gonna make sure that we don't oppose you. We can abstain, but we're not going to oppose your agenda. So Justin Trudeau's liberal agenda, Jagmeet's not going to kick up a fuss anymore. Whereas before, the cons would, whenever they wanted to beat Justin down on something, they would kind of rely on the NDP to also add in negative votes to make that happen. That's not going to happen now, which is also why we're not going to see an election until 2025, because that's built into that agreement. The reason why it's not a coalition, though, is because the NDP doesn't hold any cabinet positions within the government. If they had actual seats, like they were actual cabinet positions, they held positions of power within the government, like governing power, that would be considered a coalition. But this is not what was offered to them. They are there only to prop up, as he has in the past, to prop up the Liberal government. There's a few theories on the, and in return for that, by the way, the Liberals will start to work with the NDP on the NDP's agenda to get nationalized healthcare pharmacare and nationalized dental.
Yeah, there's a quid pro quo.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
So the agreement, so just if I could kind of go back a little bit and not mansplain, layman explain, so that people like me can understand, because Ryan's smarter than me. Effectively, what Ryan is explaining for all of you that are like me is the Liberals and the NDP got together. They formed a majority, what appears to be a majority, where the Liberals can get some stuff through. They don't have to put up with the bullshit from the Conservatives. But part of that is that for Jagmeet, who's the head of the NDP party, for him to do that, he was like this. He was like, all right, I'll consider it, but you're going to buy everybody drugs and you're going to fix everybody's teeth.
Yeah,
So
and we're not going to...
Free dental, free pharmacare.
And childcare. There's a big childcare proponent as well.
Childcare. So two things.
Sure.
So
for
two
sure
things.
There's a handy and a reach around in the
finger in the bunghole. Probably.
Yeah.
So two things, if I can't, sorry, just quickly put a cap on this, Ryan. I don't mean to interrupt you. So two things. What that does is it gives every Canadian the security that we're not going to have an election at least till 2025, which is fucking bonus, great, good stuff. It also gives people the ability to go get their fucking shitty teeth fixed and be able to afford the kind of drugs that you can't afford because if you don't have healthcare, dental care, that kind of stuff. And I like it. That's the thing. That's what I wanted to say. I like this, even though I would never vote for either party. I wouldn't vote for the Conservatives either. Even though I hate politics, even though I can't stand Justin Trudeau, even though I do not like Jagmeet Singh as a leader, even though I don't identify with anything in any of their platforms, I'm like, we need a fucking break, and I like this break. I like the break that it's giving us. I also like the fact that some marginalized people are going to get a little healthcare help, be able to afford some medication, and they'll be able to get their shitty teeth fixed. So I like this move. I think
it's smart on the Liberals' part, because if I'll be honest, as much as everybody hates Justin Trudeau, as much as the West hates Justin Trudeau, if he had to hold another election in the summer or fall, I guess there has to be some distance between assigning somebody to run the Conservatives, I think. Anyway, but let's say he did run another election,
they'll be there
people would lose their fucking minds.
Well, this is the thing. This is why Jagmeet was very he was a very positive about the idea and was supportive, was because the NDP is broke and they can't afford another election. So his hand was forced. Justin giving him the carrot of the dental and the pharmacare and the childcare was generous, to say the least. And everybody's saying that this is Justin Trudeau. It's a power grab by Justin Trudeau. If that was the case, he would have done this prior to the last election that he called. He would have just done this.
He thought he was going to win, Ryan. He thought he was going to get a majority government. No, you're giving him way too much credit.
I agree a lot. He douched it. Like, he douched it when he decided he was going to fucking call an election in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Like, he turned me right the fuck off. So he can eat a bag of shit too.
Yeah,
because he didn't think he thought he played the O'Toole. Nobody knows this fucking guy. It's a shambles. Listen, I don't like Trudeau, but he's no dummy. He's not a dumb guy, and he's also been fucking lucky.
But if that was the case,
lucky.
Why wouldn't he call an election then in the next and tell Jagmeet?
Because
sit on the bench.
He knows that we would riot. Yeah, like he blew millions of dollars on an election.
I would snap I would
People will
snap.
go fucking ballistic if he
Yeah,
called an election right now.
But
Yeah,
he wouldn't.
you
It
need
wouldn't
to
be
spend
him.
some time in Alberta.
He wouldn't. He wouldn't be the one that actually called it. It would be.
We
with
put
a
him
new,
up on
with
the
a new
pedestal.
leader coming in for
He
the
can't do anything right.
Conservatives.
I agree. Dude, listen, we look at all the different parts of this. Like, there's different
And I don't
opinions.
like the guy. By the
No,
way,
I know
I'm
you
not
don't.
a fan either.
No, I
So-
know. No one's saying you are. And
Yeah.
I'm thankful that you have that information, and I'm grateful that you're fucking telling us about it because it's a big fucking deal. Like, people are going to get health care, extra health care. People are going to have their drugs paid for. People are going to have cheaper drugs. People are going to be able to afford dental care.
I
People
might
are going to
start
have
doing
fucking cavities.
drugs now.
Well, you should start doing drugs. But here's the thing. This is the thing. Everything comes at a cost, right? Like, I don't like the guy much like you, but when you get into the minutia of it, which I didn't, when you get into the minutia of it, you'll see what everybody's trying to get out of this, right? Including the liberals, right? Like,
Oh
they-
yeah,
right?
absolutely.
This is a power thing.
Well,
sure.
no, what it is it knocks off another couple of years of having to worry about an election for the Liberals. It'll get their agenda pushed through, and it gives them time to either plan to run him again if he wants to run for PM again. Who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? But he sees this populist fucking vibe that's going through the cons now, and it's. I wouldn't say it's gaining traction. It's just getting louder and it's getting more obstructive to actual good governance, which is part of our fucking charter. Governance. We can't govern when you have. How is he going to pass anything through with that Conservative Party in there right now? Anything. It's like watching USA Light when you watch the House.
Right, but that's a power grab. Like that is him saying, "Listen, I don't want to dick around." Great,
Sure.
Let's call what it is.
But it's for our benefit.
It is. Well, it is now because Jagmeet was like, "Yeah, we'll do it, but let's fucking do this." So
I
he
can't
doesn't
wrap
want to
my
have an
head
election
around
for
him doing anything for us. I'm
Who?
sorry, I got to put my
Trudeau?
foot down on that.
You're Locke. I get your hatred, but you have to be realistic at the same time. It's the same as me saying that.
No,
Well, if Aaron O'Toole got voted in or Candace Bergen got voted in, we'd all be Nazis and fucking like you can't look at it that he's not a 100. And I'm not a fucking fan, but he's not 100% fucking in this to do for himself. He does have a party to represent and a party to answer to. Like he has members of parliament that would come
He
and
doesn't
fucking.
give a
let's meet in
flying
the middle.
fuck about
Let's
anybody
meet-
but himself.
Let's meet in the
All
middle.
right.
I would agree. There's
And
a
power.
huge thread here. Okay. Well, I'll
Okay.
meet in the middle, and you guys can stay on either side. I don't give a fuck.
No, I totally agree that there is some greed and there is some fucking self-preservation at play here.
all that is.
Absolutely.
It's all it is.
Dude,
It's not all that is.
I don't know if it's all like. See, Locke. Listen, you had a fuck Trudeau sticker on your Subaru for a year, so I love you.
Because I thought it was funny
Yeah. Okay.
that a Subaru had. I also put truck nuts on my Subaru.
I know you did.
that
I
is
thought
true.
it was funny.
But you
I
were
bought a
protesting
Green
truck
Party
nuts.
membership. This stuff is all backfiring on me because I do it for comedy, and then everyone.
Yeah.
Then you come on this podcast and solidify your comedy.
No, but dude, like, listen, he can hate. He hates Trudeau, and we have conversations.
No, I hate
about
all
it where-
politicians. I hate them all
Equally.
all of them, all of
But-
them, Ryan. You can't sit here.
You're
and tell
right.
Me,
No,
like,
you're right.
We were
You
just
are an
talking-
equal opportunity politician here.
Big time.
Okay, but
give you
hold
that.
on. We were just talking about this, and this has been baffling me. Why that guy phones up and goes, "The whole country is standing up, and we're taking it back. And we're going to kick Trudeau." He thinks everybody is on board, like everybody. Here's the other thing that I'm baffled by. There's this conversation right now, and it's going back and forth about Jason Kenney, and he's got a leadership review. So that's coming down here in the first week in April. And everyone's got to vote. And the first thing was we all had to drive to Red Deer, right? Okay. And then Brian Jean won a seat. And then he's been beaconed because his number one motivation is get rid of the only hope for the UCP party is if we get rid of Jason Kenney. And then all of a sudden we're having a conversation about multiple cities doing votes. Oh my God, he's gonna rig it. Now there's mail in. Oh my God. And I keep going back to does Jason Kenney actually think he could win the next election?
He's gonna get creamed too. He's so
Like-
fucked.
Is that a thing? Like, let him cheat. There is no way in hell. I keep saying this out loud, and I am not a fan of the NDP. I have never voted for the NDP.
Oh, Notley.
They have old Nutley. It's the worst idea for Alberta to put them back in power. The Liberals, I don't even know who the Liberal guy is. He made some comment last about laying pipe during something. That's the only reason I know know anything about him. But the thing is, there isn't a hope in hell that anybody from the UCP party is going to win an election in Alberta. Jesus Christ could come down from the skies on a white horse and go, I am now the leader of the UCP party. That dick's not winning this next
Getting
election.
chased out.
And I keep telling Nutley, and I know she listens to our show because it's popular with all the politicians.
Sure.
Yeah.
I keep saying, why are you talking? Shut up. Don't say a word. Just stay home and wait for the next election.
Win.
And you don't even need to. She doesn't even need to campaign. She doesn't need to be on social media. She doesn't need to make any public appearances. They're just going to hand it over to her. And we're going to be a fucking orange province again.
Let me just quickly bring Jason Kenney into the picture a little more.
I hope this is a dancing video.
It's not the dancing
with
video.
A hat.
I know that we've been doing this thing called the Freedumb Tournament of Champions. He went up against the Catholic Church today. Now, if you know anything about the Catholic Church, you'll be shocked at the results. It's the tail of the tape for the Tournament of Champions, the Freedom Convoy Tournament of Champions. Catholic Church versus Jason Kenney. This is like round 6, right? We're in the first round, but this is like our 6th matchup. Who do you think would be winning this battle right now? The Catholic Church, which killed indigenous people with impunity, that sent priests around the world to rape billions of altar boys and fucking set up concentration camps for the Nazis like that. Or Jason Kenney, the Premier of Ontario. Who do you think would be winning this super asshole award?
Well, as much as I can't stand Jason Kenney, I voted for the Catholic Church, but I had a feeling that I might have swayed that when I retweeted it this morning because Catholic Church was winning.
You did.
And I retweeted it about 6 or 7 o'clock this morning.
Well, Lachlan, you changed the course of nature. The Jason Kenney is currently kicking the Catholic Church's ass. He's a 15 seed going up against a 2 seed. Wow. I thought the Catholic Church would take the whole thing because of, their history of colonial rape and murder. Yeah. But Jason Kenney, 51.4% of people who voted this morning and this afternoon.
Sky Daddy versus Alberta.
Voted for Alberta's daddy over the Sky Daddy.
Yeah.
Like, this could be the biggest upset in asshole history, specifically with the Tournament of Champions. That's how much he's hated there.
We've had a couple of close calls.
He's hated more than the Catholic Church.
How long do we have left to vote?
I'm just looking at it now. We've got 3 hours left to vote. It's at 51 to 48% right now. Yeah. So
how fucked is that?
Yeah. Wow.
I retweeted that on my Twitter at Lachlan Cross if you want to go have a look.
Yeah, mine as well.
Oh, by the way, just to wrap up the supply and what's it called again? Confidence? Supply and confidence?
So confidence and supply.
Supply that. Thank you, by the way, for covering that, Rhino. How about this picture that the Conservatives put out? Fight the Socialist Coalition.
See what I'm saying? You see what I mean? Like, how? And okay, tell me one thing.
Why
tell
does
me
that trigger you?
I'll tell you why. Because tell me one thing that the Conservatives have come out, the federal Conservatives have come out and told us that they're going to do for the Canadian
politics.
Just for 10 seconds. Just because of that picture.
I fucking hate it.
They are so fucking. All they do, it's an offensive. It's an offensive. And the NDP and Jugmeat's just as bad. Jugmeat used to pounce all over Justin until they had that golden handshake.
They shook hands.
And but it's nothing. There's nothing about progress. This is what we're going to do to fix it. This is just what we're going to tell you they're doing wrong. They're doing this wrong. They're doing this wrong. This is why they're wrong. This is why they're wrong. This is how I'll fix it. This is how we should fix it. That's all they fucking do. So these two guys say, you know what? Okay, let's strike up a deal. Let's get back to good governance, get some shit done, and go from there. Love them, hate them, I don't fucking care. They're going to get some fucking work done. And if they don't like it, if Canadians don't like it, they vote them out in the next one, and then the Conservatives can fucking go in and rip it out and do it all over again. Whatever. It's a cycle that we live in. But don't do this. Don't. It's not a coalition. That's fucking fake. That's spreading misinformation for the fucking purpose of nothing other than.
I'm going to keep calling it a coalition.
Just to piss off.
Then you're just wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's all it is.
I could be wrong.
You could be wrong.
Absolutely.
Is being wrong about this more entertaining than being right? Because if it is, I want
absolutely.
Yeah,
okay,
good.
No. And
can I play this video of Pierre Polyev, the world's biggest piece of shit? What a fucking weirdo this guy is.
This is what I mean.
This guy's a fucking. This is it. I don't even want to talk about politics anymore, though. But I want to talk about how fucking much of a weirdo this guy is.
Play the video. I want.
This guy has
now.
a real. This guy wants to be the next prime minister. He's running for the conservativeship. He's like. He's got. I want you to note the real German Schneiser porn vibe this guy carries. Watch this.
Schneiser.
Hi everyone, sorry about the poor quality of this video, but I'm traveling from Montreal to Ottawa just as breaking news comes forward of a coalition power pact between the Socialist NDP and the Liberals to keep in control of the government until the year 2025. Obviously, they have agreed to a radical and extreme agenda to expand the power of government.
I'm not even playing the rest of it.
No.
Tell me that guy doesn't have a real German Schneiser vibe.
I love how it's Schneiser. It's like Schnitzel and Scheiser together.
Hello.
I shit my shit.
Now I'm in the program when we should dance.
Yeah, he looks like Sprockets.
Yes. But you notice his wording? He said it's
fucking lies.
He says it's a coalition. And he calls them socialist.
They all do
Socialist
it. Why
NDP.
are you so triggered by that guy?
Socialist
They
NDP.
all do it. They all do it, Ryan.
I know.
NDP, Jag does it.
Liberals,
the liberals do it.
Liberals
they
did
all
it. Yeah.
do it.
I know.
All a bunch of You get in the canoe with me.
But why?
Get
Ryan,
in here. Grab a paddle.
Hang out with us.
Just hate them all.
Way more fun being ignorant and making fun.
I was part of it. Okay, this is why I can recognize it. I see it. I know where it comes from and where the rhetoric comes from, and it's so it should be transparent to the fucking general population.
Why don't you laugh at it instead of getting mad though? Like fucking laugh at these guys.
Because it's frustrating to see people getting hoodwinked by people that are they think are helping them. Like that guy with his $13,000 fucking to Pat King's fucking.
I enjoyed it as well.
I really loved it actually. I really liked that he got fucked over and he's living in his car.
I do too. I just
it's 7-Eleven.
It gets
shitting
old.
at 7-Eleven.
I don't like looking like the United States because it's really starting to look like this is American politics. I know, but this is looking like American politics.
We've been going down that path. We've been watching this. I told you. I've already told you guys where we're heading. I've already pointed it out, and it took me a long time to figure it out. Who gives money to politicians?
Crazy
extreme people on both sides.
No, here's the thing: you don't just give money to people. So you give money to someone who's going to represent your religious faith. Those are the people that give money. That's who they're.
Who do they pander to, Ryan?
Jesus freaks, fucking losers.
They're pandering to the extreme side,
bastards, fucksticks, assholes,
and the guys in the middle. Although I'm questioning whether you're in the middle with me anymore, Ryan, because you apparently love Jagmeet and Justin Trudeau's coalition.
He's doing it to piss you off.
I know.
He got you.
I'm not taking that. I'm going to tip your boat over. You're going to throw your canoe. You're going to throw your paddles in the lake.
No, you need to get in the fucking canoe with me. I hate them all.
So fun, yeah, dude.
Get in the canoe.
And no one can ever accuse you of being a homer either. No one can ever say, "Oh, you're just saying that because you know what? Here's the great part: if you hate bad people, everybody will like you. These guys are all bad people.
I don't care who likes me. I just know
I love you.
I care. I love you too, but I care about. I care about actual people. I know. I care about people, and I care about the general person, like the person that is in the middle that doesn't know what to do and says, you know what, I don't have half of my mouth is rotten out. I can't afford the fucking painkillers that they give me for my teeth and my antibiotics. You know what? These guys are they're gonna do something for me, I guess. And if it doesn't go through, they get fucked over. Yep. Or you think about the other side of it, if it does go through, and then all of a sudden that person is on the path to getting better, and then all of a sudden a conservative government comes in 10 months down the road or 2 years, 3 years down the road and takes the fucking rug out from under their feet after they were able to fucking get. That's what pisses me off. And it's because of assholes like Polyev with his, Polyev with his stupid fucking socialist NDP. Socialist, it's using those keywords to take advantage of those fucking mush brains. I know. Okay, I'm out.
I don't want to talk about politics anymore. Like, I'm fucking so tired of listening about politics. They can all fuck themselves. I hate them all equally. Ryan, we need to de-politic. We need therapy. We got to help you. You have to like, you're so smart, and you were in the machine. You worked in politics for a long time. We need to save your soul. That's what we need to do.
I need an exorcism.
Intervention.
A politician or a political exorcism is what I need from you.
Yeah,
guys.
none of this shit matters. They'll all end up fucking you anyway. But I do want to talk about one thing, because we were just talking about assholes. Did you guys read this story? Oh, wrong one. My bad. That speaking of assholes, a little picture of Candace Bergen just came up. Never mind. But this is interesting to me. It's a singer named Polka. Have you guys heard about this lady?
No.
She was hospitalized with trapped gas after holding farts in because she was with her new boyfriend.
She didn't want to pass. She didn't want to
fart. Yeah.
27-year-old.
The 27-year-old
Is she known
Brazilian.
for farting?
I don't think so. She is now. Well, actually, more to the point, known for not farting. Hospitalized with trapped gas after holding in her farts, and she was with her boyfriend. The Brazilian singer Polka, better known as Polka, has been hospitalized after she was diagnosed with trapped gas. 27-year-old who made this known on Instagram, which why the fuck would you tell people on Instagram, says she became ill after she refused to fart while she was with her boyfriend. Yeah, according to her, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning with severe stomach pains and ended up in the hospital. That's okay, guys. She says, I'm fine now. Just an accumulation of trapped farts, she says. Girls, don't be ashamed to fart in front of your guy, she says. What's really embarrassing? Not letting your guy sleep because your discomfort. Going to the hospital with your guy. And the diagnosis being trapped farts. From now on, I'm letting him rip, guys. Now, look at this woman. She's technically a 10 out of 10. She's now a 12 out of 10 to me because she's not going to hold in her farts. Ladies, let it go. Let it go. I don't know what your issue is with farts.
I don't need it happening
Farting
around
is not
me,
that
though.
big of a deal. Does your wife fart in front of you sometimes? For sure
No,
she does.
no.
Does your wife fart in front of you, Linz? For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody farts. Everybody farts.
Nobody, we don't, I think we had
We're
this
not a
conversation
farting
the other
family.
day. We're not, but we're not, it's
farting family.
We're not. We'll talk about poo. I mean, if I have to fart, I'll like go to another room. I don't know. I've
every
never,
time?
I mean, I've let them out. I mean, I'm not a gassy guy. I'm not. I never have been. Like, I think it's because my system works so well that there's never any, you know what I mean? Yes. Like, I'm never bunged up or anything like that. Yeah. I also have this belief, because I'm not an at-home pooer or I'm not a holder or anything like that. Like, if I gotta go
where you go,
I go. Like, when I get the knock,
I got something about that.
I go and I take a dump. Like, Grant, he doesn't poo at work. He saves it and he bottles it up, and it's just unhealthy. It's
you can't do that.
Yeah,
holding your farts or your bowel movements, ladies and gentlemen, is a terrible idea. It will kill you.
And I almost shit my pants today because I don't have the ability to hold it. I was at Sobeys trying to get chicken nuggets to break a world record tomorrow on the show, and I couldn't find them. And I kept walking up and down the aisle. I'm like, I'm going to shit my pants. I got to get out of here. So I bought pizza bites quickly, and I fucking ran through the till. I blasted home so I could shit.
Oh, that's amazing. I've been back to the office.
I went there for chicken fingers, boys, but I got chicken bites.
Chicken nuggets.
Nuggets.
Some woman's got a world record for eating 19 chicken nuggets in a minute. And I'm like, I can fucking do that.
Oh, I can't wait for this. Oh, my God. Are you seriously doing this?
I'm doing pizza bites because I couldn't find. There's a chicken
This is
nuggets.
tomorrow?
I talked to the woman at the checkout, and she's like, oh, there's a chicken nugget shortage in Canada.
There is. Yeah.
I had no idea. So
You
I
can't
got
even like
pizza
if you
bites
order
and we're doing-
pizza and you want like chicken bites, you can't get them.
I think that's just on your. I
shortage.
think that's just in Alberta.
Is it in Alberta?
'cause everything's
think
here
so.
is fine. I've had no
I
problem
haven't
finding
like
chicken.
at
nuggets.
least once a year I shit my
Okay.
pants because I'm in a Sobeys trying to buy something and I get
Oh, but
the
I don't
knock.
fart in front of my wife.
I never fart in front of my
No,
wife.
I've
But I
almost
shit
shit
my pants yearly.
You shit your
I do
pants
shit
in
my
front of your
pants.
wife? Have you shit your pants? in front of your-
Actually I did. Cinco de Mayo is not too far away. I actually did shit my pants in front of my wife. So I was at a
that's an
taco eating
anniversary.
contest.
Hang on. Let me get this. Let me get some background.
Get some
music for
Mexican
this.
music.
Yeah, here's some.
So I went to this restaurant, this Mexican restaurant, and we had a taco eating contest. And
you did.
I actually did really well. The guy at the restaurant beat me though. And I had a couple of beers.
Yeah.
I came home and I didn't eat dinner. And I drank a few more beers at home, and then I was like, shit, I better go to bed. And I fell asleep. I fell asleep pretty hard because I was a little bit drunk. But I had eaten like 25 tacos. Like it was obscene the amount of food that I ate. And at some point in the night, I got woken up from my wife. She's like nudging me. She's like, Lachlan. And I'm like, what? She goes, I think you shit the bed. And I woke up, realized she was right. And then I had to deal with the whole cleanup and sheets outside, spraying them in the backyard.
Oh, but God forbid he farts in front of her.
But you won't fart in
Unbelievable.
front of your wife.
I'm not a farty guy. This was
okay.
this was a extreme situation. It was a taco eating contest. I ate way too much, and then I had a couple of beers, and I probably should have dealt with it before I went to bed. But
So now you're gonna have a pizza bite eating contest, and
I only have to eat 19 in a minute. I can totally
Okay.
do that.
No,
this
dude,
is
you're gonna make me so
tomorrow?
sick. Do you know how hard it is
Tomorrow.
to chew that? Back up.
I can totally do this.
What was the course of
19 in
action?
one- 60 seconds is a long time.
Dude, back up even more. The process of shitting the bed, cleaning it up. What was that like? Because
Well-
because I imagine spilling something in my bed at like 2 a.m. and it makes me crazy thinking I gotta go through the whole thing, put towels down, but shit is a special one. Like, how do you do that? Is the mattress gone? Did you bundle it all up? How did you figure that whole thing out?
We have a mattress cover. That was
just for
replaced.
this.
Yeah.
How? What was the load?
I didn't. It wasn't a lot. It was
Yeah.
just it was enough to like splash. So
Did your wife get any shrapnel?
no, she was coming into the bedroom, opened the door, and realized that it
There
was
was a
more than
smell?
a fart. Yeah. Like
There was
it
an
filled
odor?
the room. Yeah.
Realized it was more than a fart.
There was a bit of an odor.
God, you're the.
Like
I think
garbage.
you shit the bed.
That's crazy. Rhiannon says, "Man, your wife must love the shit out of you putting up with that." Boom. Yeah. That's love.
What happens when I eat a lot is my bowels get loose, right? And it was Mexican food, so I think that there was some movement and probably some gas trying to escape.
Yeah.
And like I said, I had like a couple of Coronas there, and then I had a few more beer here. That whole mixture was just a recipe for disaster.
So were you awake?
Oh fuck.
Were
No,
you
I
awake?
was
Oh,
dead
you were
asleep,
out.
and
okay.
I must have done it just before she got in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord, dude. That's the hardest I've laughed in a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Keep you on the ISO
I
shot
can't.
because there's one person in this entire show that not only has shit the bed but will admit it readily because he doesn't care.
And this
I had
judges
a
us
bad
for
run
farting
at
in
the
front of our
golf
wives.
course a couple years ago. I kept shitting my pants in the golf course.
Didn't your kids have to come bring you pants or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
you got your
had to-
kids involved with that and everything.
I was at a course that's fairly close to the house, and they were home, and I was making the turn at like 7, and I was like, oh shit. Called him up. I need a change of underwear and shorts, please. I'll meet you in the parking lot. Finish 9. I had a great round going, so I didn't want to head out.
So you kept going. You powered through until you're.
I bent down, and I don't know, just the action of bending down.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, right there. You just
a little bit of a lift.
But did you powered through until your replacement clothes showed up, or?
I hit the outhouse and did a lot of work, like some
Clean up.
maintenance,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I threw my underwear in the outhouse hole. I was fairly contained. It was in the underwear. I didn't have a lot of leakage, so the shorts were.
That's good.
But yeah,
all right. Well, listen, I'm glad you're better. There's nothing worse than having a friend who keeps shitting himself. So thank you. Because I know you're coming here in May.
It's interesting,
too. You're going to stay here, and I don't want you to shit the bed. Literally shit the bed.
I've only done that once.
Yeah, but we're going to eat Mexican when we come here because there's great Mexican food like right across the street from my house. So we're going to go for Mexican.
We're going to have a fatter day again, I think,
we're going
as well.
And
one time I was
this
is when I smoked, and this was one of my first radio gigs, and there was a guy that did afternoon drive on CJCI 620 CJCI, the country station, Ken Lake. And I did a stint on the country station, and then they moved me over to the rock station, CRX the Max FM 94. And I was doing afternoon drive there. And so I was just getting ready for my show. I was having a pre-smoke, and I was at the back of the building where we smoked, and there was like a big door, like a big, big metal door to the back of the building. And then there was sort of an ashtray there, and everyone smoked in the back. And then there was like just a bank and trees and just wilderness into the back. And we backed onto the industrial park in Prince George at the radio station. And the door swung open, and I saw a hand throw something, and then the door shuts, and then there's Ken standing there, and he's looking really guilty. And I went, Ken, what happened? And he goes, had a rough night last night, and I just shit my pants. So I'm just getting rid of my I'm thinking, I guess I caught him off guard. He didn't realize there was somebody there and didn't have time to prepare a story about what he was throwing down the hill.
I don't know anybody in my circle.
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. He's like, fuck, might as well just tell the truth. Okay, bud, I just shit my pants. I'm trying to figure out where to throw my underwear. Yeah, Locke will get it.
I don't understand. Like, I don't
have
it
himself all the time.
Have you ever shit yourself, Dean? Honestly, be honest.
Yeah, dude. Like
as an adult.
Not for like probably 15 years, but there was a night of heavy drinking where I had to go to the edge, and I was like so hungover, and I drank a lot of booze, and I was already sick the night before, and I like walked into the studio and I farted, and it was not a fart. No, I drew mud, and it was like 5 a.m., 4 a.m., and I'm like, fuck. And then I walked to the bathroom in the back of the studio, and you're because that's why I asked, what do you do? Because I remember looking, like taking my pants off. I'm like, what the fuck do I do now? Like, where do I start? Do I just throw away the gitch? Do I wrap it up in a whole bunch of shit? I'm looking for bags. I'm trying to clean, and I got to be on the air in like a couple minutes, right? So you've done that. Yeah, dude, it's like not a healthy thing. I shit my pants at work at the Bear. I was doing work, getting ready, and I was on the computer, and I was like, oh, I had a little call, and I realized it was a runner, right? Like I had to lift knees to get there, and I turned the corner, and it was like, shit. And I literally just walked right into the boss's office and went, you're gonna have to get someone to cover for me. And he's like, why? I said, because I just shit my pants. I gotta go home.
I'm just wondering if the same thing happens.
Drove home, had a quick shower, geared up again, and came home and missed a couple of breaks.
No big deal. Something like that. Like, does the same thing happen in like a bank tower, like at the head office of the TD Canada Trust?
People shit their pants all the time.
We have these
conversations. I'm a heavy drinker,
with our buddies,
Ryan.
Yeah, we have conversations with our friends. And
I'm a heavy drinker too, but
I've
never shit my pants as an adult.
20? You haven't?
Ever?
That's a lie.
I swear on my fucking
fucking get at it, dude. Get to it, because you got two guys here that readily admit to have shit themselves before, and if you haven't shit yourself, at least what you're telling me, you haven't like trusted the wrong fart once?
No, I'm telling
don't
you,
believe
I
you.
am. No,
I
I'm
think
no,
you're lying.
I'm paranoid. I'm a timer. Like I time things. I was back at the office the last 2 weeks. We're kind of doing this hybrid thing where I actually have to go in physically to my office.
Just so you know, everything you're about to say, I think is a lie.
Sure,
Go ahead.
I don't care. Whatever. I don't give a care.
You're
not my dad.
Shit's like
So-
sturdy?
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
Like you
I'm.
ever have loose bowels?
Oh yeah, of course. I've had where things are a little bit uncomfortably looser than normal and gross, or it was like a heavy night of the rise the night before. We're a little too liberal.
That's why I'm wondering why. That's why I'm kind of on Team Dean here.
Yeah, I think
that
you're
you
lying,
might
but
be
go ahead,
lying
tell the
because
lie.
you're a rye drinker. And
No,
the
I've
rye's-
never. I've had. Believe me, I know what the rye shits are. I've had the rye shits, but on the regular, no. It's in. I can time it. Usually, I have a window, and I know where my window is, and it's usually the same. Every.
I never
Why-
miss
why-
that
why-
window, by the way, because if
Yeah.
I miss that window, it stays closed for way too long, and you're like, I feel weird.
I get
Yeah, no,
mad
I won't-
when
I
miss
won't
the
miss
shit
it.
Window.
And this is why I laughed earlier when you said Grant won't shit at work. It's my favorite place to shit. I actually had the thought today while I was taking a shit at work going, I fucking missed it. I did miss this. I missed coming into this stall. This is my favorite stall. There's an air freshener that was here 2 years ago that I brought in. It's still here for me. I was in my element. I'm like, I'm gonna poop at work, and I fucking love pooping at work. I love the idea of pooping on the company time. I don't know what, it's very satisfying to me. I don't rush.
Grant likes home field advantage. I don't.
I
get
do
it.
as well,
He
for sure.
literally will stop himself from pooing, and to go home, and like he'll have like 6 o'clock will roll up, and then he'll like at 10:30 he'll be, I gotta get out of here. I've had to shit all morning. I'm like, how do you do that?
Yeah, no, I have
cannot do that. Like I said,
qualms.
when nature's knocking, I gotta go.
I always, it's like, it's, you know what that is? You know, when that time comes around and you're like, it's time. That's like the greatest time in my day every day. Almost like, it's like, okay, I get to go do this. This is a lot of fun.
See, you're in a different spot now too, because you do a lot of your work from home. So you have
bathroom's like right there.
Yeah, it's
home
right
field
across.
advantage is right there. It's
Yeah.
incredible. And like, listen, I've become an elitist pooper. Like Grant, I'm not like you. I have to go to places where I'm like, I got to be able to have my phone. I got to be able to play Golf Clash. Relaxes me.
I do that at work.
Gets the rest of the stuff out, and then I go back to work. That's what I do. And then I wipe my phone down when but never take my phone in the public bathroom. That's fucking life hack number one. You don't know what kind of shit's in there. And if you have to use a public bathroom, clean the shit out of the toilet seats and just don't touch anything. You'll be fine.
Yeah,
I'm not
if they got that
spoiled, but that's my deal.
the ass gasket. If they got the ass gasket, I fucking love places that think ahead, like for the people.
Right.
And they have that gasket you can pull down and put on the
Oh, the
seat.
toilet seat liner. Yeah.
Yeah, ass gasket, and
Yeah.
it just when you flush, it
I
sucks
swear to
it
God,
down.
I've never used
An ass gasket? No.
Never.
Have you ever made
You're like,
one like a nest out
whatever.
of toilet paper? Like
All
a
the
bird?
time. Yeah, but all
Yeah.
the time, dude. You can take toilet paper, you line
Really?
it around the side,
Yeah.
you line it down the sink. And then
I'll
you line
wipe
it like
off
that.
a seat if there's something on it, but I'm not gonna.
I do that now too because the toilet paper coverage was too much of a pain in the ass.
I have a useless fun fact about Ontario law. If you want to hear it about pooping,
Sure, and then we'll finish the
then
show.
we'll finish on this. Okay, everybody, go home learning something new today. Public toilets in Ontario. You notice how that every public toilet you ever sit on, it's a U. It's not a full circle like at your house. That's a law. Public toilets have to have that break so that your cock doesn't touch where somebody else's cock touches. That's what that break is there for.
You're kidding. So
No.
we're very cock conscious here when it
Very,
comes to urination.
very
and
penis
pooping.
touching conscious.
I like that about Canada, actually. Yeah,
It's a
I had
commercial
no idea that the
bathroom.
U-shaped
idea.
toilet seat was for the penis for the guys.
it's for and for women to just so that they're
if they have long
their who.
vaginas.
Yeah, well, you've
Yeah.
seen long vaginas. Sometimes it's like a pseudo penis, right? Like it could flop onto that.
I've never seen a long vagina.
Yeah, wow.
It
I'll
would
send you
hit
some
there.
pictures. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. So, Yeah, that's a
right.
kind of cool thing about Ontario. About
Thank you.
Commercial bathrooms. Yeah, there's a ton
Thank
of
you.
laws about bathrooms, just so you guys know. It's very interesting.
Why does it not surprise
Welcome
me
to-
that you know a lot about bathrooms?
It's a government thing, man. I used to do
All
it.
right. There you go. That is Ryan Lindley, the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. At Ryan Lindley on Twitter is where you can find him. Thanks for doing this, bud. Great to see you.
I love you
Really.
guys.
Love you
I
too.
think we
buddy.
did some good work today.
I think we did great work.
We got to have that Anton back again.
Yeah, for
90,
sure.
95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him.
Tune in
at
to watch
Lachlan
me
Cross.
break a world record tomorrow.
Are you doing that tomorrow? Chicken
20,
nuggets
I'm gonna-
or pizza bites?
I couldn't find chicken nuggets, so I went with
You
the
going
pizza
pizza bites?
bites. They're about the same size. I think that should
I can't wait to see you here
Suffice.
tomorrow afternoon. I cannot wait to see you here tomorrow.
might
actually.
shit yourself
If
on the
there's a
show.
day I'm going to shit myself, it's after me trying to consume 20 pizza bites in a minute.
All right.
Tune in tomorrow, everybody.
See you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks, boys. Great to see you.
See you, pal.
Winning the hearts and minds.
Of the people, one shit at a time. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Have a great day. That's it for us. Lots of great information today, and then you end up with some farts and stuff, but big deal, right? It's part of life. Might as well talk about it. Thanks to everybody for joining us, too. Everybody in the comment section. So many people. It's like a little fucking party in there. I almost wanted to get off the show and go party with everybody in the comment section. I did. You can join us at deanblundell.com. Sign up for a newsletter there as well. Check out our sponsors and partners, including easyautofinancial.ca. Easyautofinancial.ca, people that get you financing for your car, super easy to do. No obligation either. Easyautofinancial.ca gets financing for free for people. Doesn't matter what your credit rating says. Got a bad credit rating? They don't give two shits. They'll get you in the car that you want for the price that you want to pay, and you don't have to pay for your financing. Super easy to do. Go to easyautofinancial.ca today and check them out. Also, Domination. Dominate with content by using domination.com, dmntn.com. These guys are incredible, brilliant for content producers, podcasters, gamers, etc. You feed one file into domination.com when you get an account, and then it'll spit out like 72 pieces of content, promos, etc. You're going to love it. Go to domination.com. Again, try them for free today. dmntn.com. And Ed's Fine Imports is Gitch. Wearing them right now. Right on me. You can do the same thing. Luxury underwear with the sack in the front. Boxer briefs. Great pouch. Excellent features, including the band and the waist. It's fucking incredible. Super soft. Very pliable. Moisture wicking. You need that when you're sitting down a lot. Go get Ed's Gitch. edsfineimports.com. Gitch3 is your promo code when you order 3 or more pairs. He'll send you a pair for free when you use that promo code. Clothing for men and boys there, too. Great online selection, but get the Gitch from edsfineimports.com. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Is tomorrow Friday? I believe it might be. I don't think it's a free-for-all, but I can't remember who we have on the program tomorrow. Honestly. I mean, you know, if you listen to the radio, they'll be like, we got this, we got that, tomorrow on the show. I don't care about that. I'm supposed to do teases. Is this a tease? No. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Tomorrow we got this, and this. Tune in. Listen, if you got time, stop by around 3, 4 tomorrow. We'll be here. Go subscribe to deanblundell.com. Go to YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Join us if you like. It doesn't cost you anything. Just subscribe. And then we'll see you tomorrow around 3 or 4. But I'm not going to sit here and like bribe you to listen or watch. Lots of people do. That's why they do radio contests all the time. They're like, we're going to give away $1,000 an hour for the next 2 weeks. Why? Bribe people to listen. Anyway, have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye.